and distribution for a group of data. Okay, so that is in a measures of central tendency. Okay, so in that place, okay, in this measure of, under this measures of central tendency, you can calculate that mean and median and mode. Okay, so the mean is nothing, it's an average of your data set, and median is a midpoint of the particular data set, and mode is in a repeated value. Okay, so that is the measures of central tendency. And next, another types of like a descriptive statistic is measures of spread. So in that measures of spread, you are this is giving in a way of summarizing in a group of data by describing how the spread out of the scores are. Okay, so it will tell you that the variance, like how it just one data to another data, what is the gap, so that variance you can do it in this measures of spread. Okay, for example, you can do this kind of an analysis like range, I have already told the variance and the standard deviation. So these things you can do it under this measures of spread. Okay, so next I'm moving to the inferential statistics, that is in the second part of the statistics type. So this inferential statistics, you can draw a conclusion and even you can take a decision concerning on a population based on a only on sample data. Okay, so in below that, so what are the things you have seen that the descriptive statistics that will be work on a small data size, and also you can do it on a summarize, that is your data, the nature of the data, otherwise the characteristics of the data you can take. But in that inferential statistics, you can calculate it, that you can compare the two variables, otherwise you can take a conclusion and you can take a decision making about that some particular sample data, but it will be focused on this population. Okay, so under this we have a two method. Under that inferential statistic we have a two methods. One is estimation of parameters and another one is testing of statistical hypothesis. So the estimation of parameter, that is nothing. For an example, you can think about that. You are going to work on this whole population, that is in 100 students. So from that you are calculating mean and standard deviation. So that is called as parameters. Okay. So the testing of the statistical hypothesis we are going to detailedly see in this upcoming slides. You don't worry about that. That time I will explain it. Okay. So this is the basic introduction about the statistics. All the analysis will come under these two categories. Okay, and moving to the next slide. Yes. So in that you can see this. Yeah. So in that you can see this, the data entry. Next we are going to see the data entry. So we know this what kind of an analysis, like what are the type of analysis we can do, and before it we need a data to work for the analysis. Okay. Ma'am, Santi ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, still the participants are joining.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We are joining.
Am I want to wait or?
No, ma'am. You can start, ma'am. Let them join. It is already 11:10, so no problem. You can continue. Let them join, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Fine.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. So next we are going to see this in a data entry. So in that data entry, we are going to see like you. So for doing an analysis, before doing an analysis, you need to enter in a data. So you need to enter into the data. So that time you will have to find some kind of a software. Okay. So nowadays we have a lot of softwares are available like SPSS and PSP, Smart PLS, AMOS, and even R also nowadays using, and Tableau, even Excel also they are using. Okay. So today we are going to use an SPSS software. First, we will see this, how to enter the data in this SPSS, and along with an SPSS, I'm going to explain these concepts like scaling techniques and then missing match, how to handle the missing match, how you have to clean the data. So these are the things we are going to see along with an SPSS. So let me share that SPSS screen. So once, is the screen is visible, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Yeah. Once if you open that SPSS, that window will be look like this. Okay. So it will be asked whether if you want to run the tutorial, otherwise you need to type the data or run on any existing query. So like this, it will be asked. Don't worry about it. You can click cancel and directly you can move into that. Once again, I will share that screen. And directly you can move into this kind of a screen. Okay, so you will get some kind of a column and row, some kind of a cells. It's looking like an Excel sheet, right? So this kind of a sheet will be visible. So in that you can see in your left hand side corner, you will get this data view and then variable view, two tabs. So from this only we are going to start. So for an example, like I'm going to type two questions. Okay, one is gender, one is demographic variable, another one is scaled question. So that question is whether like how much you are liking the chocolates, very high and medium and low. So I'm going to use this 3-point Likert scale. Okay, so I'm going to select this variable view. So before entering the data into that, you need to enter all the variable name. You have to describe what kind of a variable and also, so yes, so you need to describe this like what kind of the variable you are going to use and what kind of analysis you are going to, that also you need to before like doing an analysis, you need to do all those things. First, I'm going to enter that first question, that is gender. So here in this variable view, you will get the screen. So yeah, so here you will get name and type and width, decimals, label, values and missing columns, and even you will get this alignment and so on. These kind of the columns are available in that SPSS variable view window. So first I'm going to type this gender. So in that name column, you need to very careful about that. Like here you can give any space or here you can give any special character in that name column. This will be visible in your data view column, that variable name. That's why it will be like this. Okay, so we have entered that first the question. Okay, so that is gender, and next column is type. So once if you are moving into the next column, it will be show like this, the one square button within a dotted lines. You can check that like what kind of variable types you are going to insert. Okay, for an example, we are getting a different kind of data types in SPSS, like numeric and comma, dot, okay, date and even currency, string, some kind of data types also available. But now we are going to use this numeric only. So by default, it will be numeric only. So we have to select numeric and move to the next column, that is width. So the width and here this column and alignment. So those things are like it's just designing that particular cell, how much the space you need in that data view. Like every data we are going to enter, it's just formatting, okay, your data cells. And next thing is decimal. After that data points, what are the decimal points you need? Whether if you need 2 or if you need 1, okay, so that kind of I don't need to for this gender, I don't need to any decimal points. I'm just using as a 0 here. So if you are using any currency type of things, you can give that like 002 decimals, or it depends upon your questions. Okay, like that you can increase. And next column is label. Okay, so in that label, like here you can type whatever the, like if you want a special character space, anything you can type it here. So this label column will be visible in your output window. Once if you are opening an SPSS, that output window also will be open in the behind this SPSS screen. Okay, so that whatever that analysis you are doing, that output will be taken into that particular, that separate screen. Okay, so and that place only this label, whatever the variable names you are giving now, that label will be visible on that output screen. Here I'm just typing gender, so I no need to type any explanation of this. And here next thing is values. So for my example, in your question, what are the options you will give? One, male, otherwise A, male, and B, female. Like that you will be, right? So that time you need to enter the same, like if you are assigning one for, yeah, if you are assigning one for male, so the same thing you have to enter into the values. In that particular column, you are assigning that objects in a particular number. So what it will do, it will differentiate the objects. Okay, so that's the mean in a value column. So I have given one for male, so that I am just typing one, and in that label, what that one is represented on a male. Okay, so I'm typing in a male and click add.
Excuse
And
me,
next ma'am.
Vidya, some sort of disturbance from your side, ma. I think background some music's happened.
Music? No, ma'am.
Vidya?
Yes, ma'am.
No, some sort of some sort of things happen. I think any mobile will ring there.
No, ma'am. It's everything is in silent.
Ma'am, no, that is sort of when you are speaking. No, we are. It is hearing some echo sound. I think due to that Bluetooth, no, you are using that. Or I don't know whether.
Yeah, ma'am. I will remove this Bluetooth, ma'am. 1 second.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, if the device. No. Thank you.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. So now is this audible, ma'am?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. So now we are going to see that, like in that second one. So actually the first option we have entered. Now we are going to see that second option. So the second one I have given as a female. So second I'm typing. So the second option is a female. I have typed the value as a 2 and then label as a female. Okay, so this I have assigned in my questionnaire. So that same thing I have entered into the value. Why I am telling the same thing you just entered? If you are entering the same, like whatever you have assigned, you are entering the same thing in this value column. So whenever you are going to enter in the data into the data view, that time, while data entering that time, it will be easy to you. If you are mismatching that options and the number, then it will be get collapsed to you that entering time. Okay, so that's the main important, like you have to follow the same, whatever the things you are entering into that questionnaire, follow the same thing in this value column also. Now I have assigned that two values for this two options. Okay, now you just click OK. The value columns is done. And next, missing. So when like we are going to see this data cleaning, that time I will handle this missing part. Okay, don't worry about that. So the columns I have already told. If you want to increase that, you just increase the number, then the column, like column and width, the space of the cell, okay, it will be adjust according to that number. And next thing, alignment. So the particular data where you need to place in this data view, whether right, center, left, like that. Okay, you can see this, like three options are available in that. Okay, so I just left as an by default is right. I just left this there. And next thing is measure. So the measure here, you can see this, like there are three things: scale, ordinal, and nominal. Okay, so what is that measures? So we have studied in the research methodology, that is the scaling techniques. Okay, so then the scaling techniques we have seen, mainly we have seen this 4 type of scaling technique. What are the things? Like nominal, ordinal, and interval, and ratio, right? So these are the 4 scaling techniques we have studied. So I'm going to explain these 4 scaling techniques. Maybe it will be refreshed for you also. That's right. So first we will understand this, what is the measure. Okay. So this is the process of applying a number, okay, to your objects according to a set of rules. Fine. So that is in a measures. So here what you have done, you have assigned some number, right, for that object. So that will be happen, but according to some set of rules. So that is in a measures. So I'm moving into that first measurement scale, like that is not nominal. So the nominal, same as think. Okay, what I have told is for this gender. So assign the numbers. You have to assign the numbers to an object where the different numbers will indicate that different objects. For example, what we have typed in this column, first row, the gender. So the gender, 1 is male and 2 is female. For you can say this, you can take that another example also. So the season, 4 seasons. What are the things? Winter, summer, and autumn and spring, right? So these are the 4 seasons are there. So you can number it the 4 seasons, like 1 for winter and 2 for summer and 3 for autumn and next 4 for spring. Like that you can number it. Is there any meaning for this number? No. So that is the nominal scale. Whatever the number you are giving, okay, so there is no real meaning for the numbers, okay. It just simply differentiate these objects. That is the nominal scale, okay. So whatever things now I am explaining, as per the SPSS only I am telling. I am not touching the deep statistics, all those things, okay. So next we are going to see this, the ordinal scale. Okay, so the ordinal scale, it's same as like your nominal thing, assigning the numbers to an object. But here, whatever the numbers you are assigning for the objects now, that numbers have the meaningful order. Okay, so that is an ordinal scale. So here you can rank the people within an ordinal data. For an example, I'm just telling this. Place finished in a race, like first place, second place, and third place, and so on, like that, right? So here, this numbers indicate this placement or order. So that number have some meaning, right? So if one person comes, if one person comes in the race at the first place, so that we will give some special awards and gifts, everything. So the number gives some meaning in this ordinal scale, right? So that is a difference between that nominal and ordinal, and these two scales comes under this. Sorry guys, still people are joining. Yeah. So this two scales comes under this qualitative research. Whenever you are doing in a qualitative, that time it will be visible. Like that time it will be useful for a qualitative research, the nominal and ordinal. Okay. Yeah. So the next thing is we are going to see this interval scale. So the interval scale, whatever the numbers you are assigning for the object, like as usual, like your ordinal. So the numbers have an order here, but the numbers also have an equal interval between the adjacent categories. So that is called an interval scale. For an example, I'm just telling this, the temperature in degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, so you can see this. You can see this, like if anyone is telling 78 degree Fahrenheit and 79 degree Fahrenheit, what is the difference between the two number? 1. And for like if anyone is telling like 45 degree to 46 degrees Celsius, like Celsius or Fahrenheit of degree, so what is the difference between the 2 degrees? It's a 1 degree of difference between that, like 2 Fahrenheit degrees. Okay, so here that interval have an equal balance in this adjacent categories, and this is classic interval scale. That is an interval. And next I'm going to tell about this ratio. So the differences are meaningful like your interval. Okay, in added that ratios are meaningful and there is a true 0 point in this ratio scale. Okay, for example, I can say this, your scale, the 0 is that also have some meaning. The centimeter scale you can take, you can see this, if it is a 0, there is no length, right? So other thing you can say this 0 pounds, it means no weights, right? So otherwise it is an absence of a weight. So that is also have a true 0 point. That 0 also have some meaning in this ratio. Okay, so these are the things, like these are the things about this measurements. Now you can understand this, like what is measurement levels. Okay, but we have seen this 4 type of measurement levels, but here in SPSS you will get only 3 scales. Why? So actually they have compressed in that scale that ordinal and nominal is okay. You can select whether if it is in a nominal, you can select it. Whether if you are having an ordinal, that particular scale you can select it. But if you are having an interval or any ratio scale, that time you need to select this scale. Okay, so here they have compressed that 2 scales into the scale. You need to select it. Now let's come to our questions. So I have entered the gender and I have assigned the values. Everything is okay, fine. And now I just want to give that measurement. Okay. Yes, I just want to give that measurement. So what kind of the scale, the gender? Actually here it's a nominal scale. Okay, so I'm going to select this nominal. Let's come to the next column, that is role. Okay, so here you can, like in this measurement, why I have selected the nominal, I have given us some number to an, yes, here I have given us some number to an, like male and female, but that numbers don't have any meaning. Okay, so that's why I have selected this nominal. And next thing is input, like sorry, it's in a role. Okay, so the role, what is that meaning, why we have to select? In this variable view, you need to consider this like the measures and then values. So these 2 things are very, very important. Even the type also very, very important. That's the main point, but I will explain this, what is role and why we have to do this. Sometimes this role will be useful for when you are doing in a particular analysis, this will be used. Okay, so here you will get in a few options like input, target, port, none, partition and split. What is this? Like actually this role that a variable will play in your analysis. For an example, if you are handling that input, like independent variable or dependent variable. Okay, for that kind of variables, you need to select particular role for a particular variable. So this will allow, this role column will allow you to pre-select the variables for a particular analysis based on the defined roles. So I have already said it, right? So whenever you are doing any or different kind of analysis, like if you are doing in a regression or anything, that time you need to segregate the dependent variable and independent variable. You have, like, you need to know in your study, as per your study, like what is dependent and what is independent variable. So there is no fixed dependent and independent variable. Okay, so actually that dependent, I think few of them are knows this, what is independent variable and independent variable. I will explain this. Okay, so the independent variable, they can stand alone. Okay, then you know, like there is no dependent for that another variable, they can stand alone. It is also called as a manipulated variable. Okay, and the dependent variable, it will depends on another variable, and also it is called as a responding variable. Okay, I think now you have understand this, what is independent and dependent variable. And this input, okay, first I'm going to explain this first point, this input. So the input is default assignment for variables. Like even you can see this whenever, like before taking that selecting that role, you can see this, the input already selected by default, the input has selected, right? So the input in the sense is independent variable. Okay, and next thing is target. So the target is like it's used for an outcome. Actually, that's for your dependent variable. And next thing is both. So the both is used for both independent and dependent variable. If any variable is dependent, like explains this both, whether I can use this independent, I can use this dependent variable. That time you can select the both things. Okay. So next is none. So there is no role assigned for that particular variable. Okay. So some variables are like this, like you no need to assign any particular work for another variable. That time you can select this none. And partition. So this partition, what we will do? So the data will separate the samples. Okay. So it will separate into the 2 parts, like the training and test data, like that. For example, I'm just telling you. Okay. It will segregate this data and you can do it. That's the partition. and then split. So actually this split is used for like your IBM SPSS modulator. Okay, so we are not using this, not IBM SPSS statistics, we are not using the split, don't worry about it. Okay, so here as per your variable, like if that variable is independent variable, you just select this role. In that role you just select this independent variable. Otherwise, if that variable is dependent, you need to select target. If the variable is meaning the both things, independent variable and dependent variable, it's giving the both meaning, that time you just select this both. Okay, if it is nothing, select the none. Okay, fine. So now I have explained this role also. So I'm simply select this independent. Okay, so I will left as a default thing. And next I'm going to enter another scale variable. So the scale variable is like how much you are liking the chocolates. I have given 3 options, like that is the 3 options are like high, low, and high, medium, and low. So this is the 3 options I have given below the question. Okay, so I'm just typing the questionnaire, how much like chop. Okay, so that's no space, I'm just okay. So this is also comes under this numeric type, and I'm just reducing the decimals, and here you can type that full question. Chocolate. Okay, so the values is your 3 things. So one is high, add this, and 2 is net. Okay, so the medium, and 3 is low. I don't like the chocolates like that. Okay, even you can change this values also, like I can very much like neutrally like, and even I don't like that also. You can change it. For an example only I'm typing here. So this is how you have to enter this data, and the missing you just leave it. I will explain this in the next slide. And this alignment and right, and you just come to the measures. So the measures here, it's in a scale type. Here we are using this Likert scale, 3-point scale. So in this we are having 3 things and equal intervals, and we have to put it in the measure as a scale. So input, you just leave it in a input. Okay, so now after entering all this data, now you just move into the data view. Okay, so here you can see this, that whatever that you have entered into that name column, so that will be visible into that data view column name, that is variable name. Okay, so the gender, and then how much you like this chocolate. Here now you can enter the data. So like one like only he don't like this, like this. Okay, for 2, and mostly like ladies will like this chocolates, and 2, 1 like this. Okay, so you need to enter the data like this. Select like take your questionnaires, and one by one you just see the respondents, and as for that you just start to enter into it. Okay, so this is the normal, like the basic thing, how to like do in a variable view and how to do in a data view. I hope you have understand this. I'm just moving to a slide. So in this slide, we have done, like you can see this, we have done that, the variable view and scaling techniques we have done, and data view also we have finished. So the data, like that scaling techniques only, I have given here one image, that nominal and ordinal will comes under this qualitative, and this interval and ratio will comes under this quantitative. So these both things are in a very big chapter. I'm not going to touch this now. Okay, so fine. So now we are going to see this, the missing values and compute variable in this kind of things. Okay, once if you are done all that, like the data entry, and then like the variable, you have assigned the variable, what are the variables are there, and then you have entered the data, that everything is done. Fine. After that, what you have to do,
So is it is good to go with like whatever the raw data you have entered? Is it is good with that? Go with an analysis? No, actually you can't. Like that is actually false. As per the statistics and the analyst, so they won't do this. So first, they will check that whether the data is clean or not. The cleaning in the sense whether the data has missing values or whether it is normally distributed or not, and then whether it has binned or not. Okay, so these kind of the things first they will check. After the data cleaning, they will enter into that descriptive statistics. So that descriptive statistics will give you that nature or characteristics of your group of the data. Okay, so whatever the data you have entered, that data, that information, the summary of your data, that you will get it from the descriptive statistics. Now you can understand this. This is the step. Once you are entering, as for that like methods and rules you need to enter, and you need to give in a particular the scaling techniques also for each variable. So some people will do that, like simply they will select all the variables as a scale. Actually that is not good in my point of view. So select that like respective measurement level for the particular variables. Okay, so that's my kind of request. Okay, fine. Now we are going to a data cleaning part. So in that data cleaning part, we have a lot of things like removing outliers and missing values, the pinning, and even normalization also we have to do. So here today we are going to see this handling the missing values, and next thing is how you have to compute the pinning, okay, and normalization. So that things we are going to do in that now. So let's see this once again. I'm sharing that SPSS screen. Actually, yesterday I have sent sample data sets for working here. I hope the Kumula ma'am have the data sets. Like I will explain that how you have to do it and what are the data set you have to use for that analysis, like particular analysis. And like if you are having the data set with you, you can work with along with me. Otherwise, you just see and after that do it. You know, fine. So I'm going to use this sample one data set for data cleaning purpose. So give me a second, I will share the screen. Yeah. So is this visible, the screen?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It's visible.
Continue this. So this data set is called as a sample one data set. I'm using for this data cleaning purpose. Okay. So here you can see this, that variable everything is already done. So this is I have downloaded from Nate. You can also get it from there. Okay, fine. So in this sample data set, just explaining some school students' height, weight, and what are the marks in that English and how they are reading, like that reading marks and maths and that writing that marks. Okay, so they have given some marks. Even they have taken some height and weight for the students. But in that you can see this some blank cells. Okay, so this is called missing values. Whether maybe that respondents is not interested to enter into that. Sometimes that like by mistake they will miss that while entering that data by mistake they can leave it. So these are the options, and even sometimes the system also will miss that. Okay, so these are the ways that they're having the missing values. Fine. So here you can see all those things, like what are the data are there. I think now you can understand what is the data set. Some students information about this personal height, weight, and then some subject marks here we are getting. So by handling the missing values, here in this SPSS you will get three type of options. One is like recode into different variables and recode into same variables, and other thing is replace the missing values. These three kind of things you can do it in this, like for handling that particular handling the missing values, you can do this three things. Okay, first I'm going to tell this that recode into different variables. Once if you are getting data like this, you are going to do it in a missing value or handling this missing values. you need to go to the transform. Okay, once if you're selecting the transform, you will get this recode into different variables. Okay, so here we are going to recode that missing values in the different variable. Fine, I'm going to select this. So now I'm going to select only one variable, that is height. Select this by clicking, you select it simply, and here you can see this some arrow mark in between that two boxes. Just click that, so it will be moving to that numeric variables, that is output variable box. Fine. So here you need to give a name. You have to name that variables. I have already told it. So this thing is recorded into the different variables. What it will do, so it will create a different new variable for that, and then wherever the like your missing value is there, that time what are the data you need to enter, that will be shown into that missing area. Fine. So I'm going to type in a name, missing value, and then a label. Missing values like this. Now you just click the change, and now you can see this, the height is going to become into the missing values. Okay, and now you need to click this old and new values. Okay, what you are going to change, for that you have to click this old and new values, so that you will get one dialog box, recode into different variable old and new dialog box, that you have to select this system or user missing. Otherwise you can select the system missing also. I'm going to select this both things, whether if it is system missing or user missing. So for that, what are the variables, like what are the values you need to present. So I'm going to give in a value that is 0, otherwise give 999. Yeah, the height won't be like in this minus point, so that I'm giving the -1 and click add. Okay, and click continue. And if you want, you can select this all other variables also, like it will be change all other variables, what kind of the values will be represented in this. That time you have to change, like select this all other variables, click on a continue and click OK, and it will take you into the output screen. But don't go for that now. You can see this in your like the data view, that screen itself. You can see that the missing value, that new column will be created, the system will be created, and then wherever the missing, you can see this. So here we have that missing value. Here what the value we have given, that value will be like visible in that place. Okay, so this is the one way to handling this missing values. I'm going to show another way to handling a missing value. As usual, I'm going to use the same data set, that is sample1, transform, and go to that, recode into same variables. Okay, select this. Again, it will ask and it will show in some dialog box, recode into same variables. I'm going to select this weight variable. So I'm not going to touch the previous one. So select it and move it into the numeric variables and click this old and new values. Here also I'm using the system or user missing, and in this place I'm going to type in a same as -1, because like when you are seeing the data set, you can easily understand what is missing value. You can think about this normally, like the weight and height, it won't be in this minus, right? So that's why I'm just giving. If you are giving any other number, 1000 or anything, it will be confused you. Okay, that's why. So -1 and click add. So it will be add that particular whatever you have assigned, so that will be adding to this, and you just click this continue and OK. Again, it will take you into this output screen. Once if you run this analysis, You just come into that, our data view screen. Here you can see this -1, wherever we got like we got that like the missing value na, that place, that cell has filled with a -1. So this -1 we have assigned in that dialog box. So we just recoded that thing. So that is a -1. It will show you in that missing value cells. Okay. So this is like this. So this is about this recode into same variables. Fine. So this has entered into like inside that data. Like whenever like doing an analysis, that time this -1 also will be coming into the like the calculation. So how you just avoid this? So for that you need to go to the variable view. Okay. So here select this weight. Okay. So the missing, you can see this once again. I'm doing this once. If you are select the second record, the missing column, like you just select it and you will get this square dotted line box. Select it and you will get on one dialog box that's missing values. Here you need to select discrete missing values. Okay, so that discrete is nothing like one round number. Okay, so the -1 you are typing. You can give under 3 different kind of numbers also, but now we are doing only one thing. Okay, discrete missing values, that's -1. What we have recorded, now that thing you have to enter here. Don't mismatch it. Okay, so click OK. Now it will be shown here in this variable view. You will get this. Okay, here now you can check this. The data view, the -1 will be there. Whatever that analysis you are doing, that time this -1 won't take into the calculations. Otherwise, if you are not assigning into the variable view, what it will do, whenever it's doing some analysis or something, that -1 also will be taken to the calculation. Okay, so that will be leading to the wrong result. So we need to avoid it. For that you have to do this. And next thing is replace. The next type is replace the missing values. Okay. So for replacing that missing values, like here we are going to select this transform and you will get this replace missing values. Okay. So now I'm going to select this English data, that particular data like a variable name. I am moving this variable name into that new variables, and that name, if you want, you can change it, whatever you need. In that method, this replacing this missing value method, what it will be do, like it will take that mean value and it will replace into it. Okay, so that is the purpose of this replacing the third option, replace missing values. So here you can select this serious means and mean of nearby points and median. So it depends upon your analysis. Okay, sometimes like always we are doing in a mean kind of an analysis, so that's not an issue. The serious mean is like it's good to do that analysis. Otherwise you can select this mean of nearby points. That time you need to select this span of nearby points, now that you have to select all. Okay, fine, and just click OK. Just click OK. It will take you into that particular output screen. It will be visible, and I am just showing that in the data view. You can see this in this data view itself. Yeah, so now we just see this. It has created an like new values, that is English 1. So in that, wherever that missing value, see this, like here in this English we have that missing value, that box cell is missing. For that it has put some mean value. Okay, 82.78. The system will calculate and automatically it will take that near to that mean value. That value it will take and it will be put it in. Okay, but whenever you are doing this analysis, is this will be effective analysis? That question will be arise in your mind, right? So for that you can check this PAT t-test. Okay, go to the analysis and compare means and select this paired sample t test and move that particular variable into the paired one. Okay, what is your actual that missing value thing? It's English. That is the variable one. And what is that like replaced that missing value, that variable name, that is an English one. So now we are moving that two variables into that, but like variable one and variable two cells. And don't click any other things and click OK. Yeah. So now you will get an 1 second. I will share that output screen. Yeah. So here you can see, is the screen is visible? Output
Yes,
screen?
ma'am, it is visible.
Yeah. So now you can see this, that English and then mean English. We have created that mean, right? So you can see this, the mean value is similar. There is no impact on this. After changing that, after replacing the missing values, there is no impact on that particular variable. So you can use this, that actual, like that actual also, but you are having that some missing values sometimes, like when you are going to the regression, that time you can use this missing value data set. Okay, so for that time you need to create this kind of replace missing values point, and after that you can use this. Okay, so this 82, you can see this clearly, you can understand there is no difference after changing this missing values. Okay, fine. So this is about this, sorry, that's all about this missing values. Just I'm just sharing that screen. Yes, now we have seen that missing values, and now we are going to see this compute variables. Okay, so the compute variables, it's nothing like if you want to bin that particular variable, like statements, okay, that time this compute variable will be help you to do this. So think about that, like under one variable, you are having that 10 or more than 10 or more than 10 statements. Okay, so that time it is not possible to an analysis like regression or correlation. So it is possible to take all the statement questions into the one place to bin that particular variable. Under that one variable only, that 10 questions are there. So that 10 statements will be represent that particular variable, right? So that time you need to bin it. Fine. So for that binning, again, you have to, I'm using that same data set, that is sample one. Go to the transform and select this compute variable. This will like take you into that compute variable dialog box. In that top, you will get the target variable. Okay, and here you need to type that particular the variable name, that new variable name. Okay, I'm just going to type sample bin. Okay, so that's my like a new variable name. After this, you need to select, just come to the move to the function group. Okay, you just scroll down, you will get a statistical. Once if you are clicking the statistical, in below that function and special variables. Okay, so that will be visible. So that you need to select mean. I have already told it, right, that all the analysis, like most of the analysis we are doing within a mean. If you are doing any non-parametric, that time you need to do the median. Okay, so you can select this variance, max, median, like mean, sum of, standard deviation, all those things. But now I'm going to use this mean. Double click it and you will get this numeric expression. Okay, so you just delete that 2 question marks. Now I'm going to add that variable. Think about that. These are the variables that comes under that student student information. Okay, so I'm just moving that. Just click this arrow mark, it will be come into that, and put comma, and again click the weight and move into that. Okay, so the 2 variables are indicating that student information, so that will be saved into that sample bin. Okay, so I'm going to click OK. So it will take you into that output screen. but you can't see anything in this output screen. You can see that output in, actually you can see that output in the data view. So see this here, I'm just selecting that column, sample bin, and that two variables, height and weight, has like calculated, the mean has calculated, and it is represent here. Okay, so this is how you need to compute. So don't do like this kind of variables. Actually, your variable will be different. For an example only, I'm doing. Okay, don't take a mistake. Yeah. So this is the compute variable. Okay. And next is the descriptive statistics. Okay. So yes. So now we have done that like data entry and data cleaning also we have done. Like we have handled that missing values and how you need to compute that variables. Like it is not good to like if you are having a lot of variables, okay, otherwise lot of statements, if you are typing, it will be extend that columns only. It's very difficult to handle that data, and when you are doing an analysis, sometimes you will miss some columns and variable names. Better advice is to just compute that variables and take the mean value and use this mean value. That analysis result won't that much difference. Even I done that, it's not that much difference. Okay. Yeah, so now we are moving to the descriptive statistics. So I'm going to use the same data set, the sample one data set. So go to that analysis. So I have already explained this descriptive statistics. It will give you the summary of your data. So whatever the data we are having here, so we are going to check what is the mean and median, mode, these are the things. So go to that analysis and descriptive statistics and select this frequencies. Okay, so select one variable. Simply I'm just selecting the same height. Okay, so in that statistics, click that statistics. You can see this percentile values and central tendency and dispersion and then distribution also. So the percentile values, it's nothing, your quartile and percentiles. Whenever you need, you just go and calculate it. Otherwise, don't accept things. And central tendency, like we are going to see this mean, median, mode. Okay. So I'm just showing that how it will become. Okay. Like if you are if it is necessary to click for your analysis, you just click it. This is for an example only I'm doing. So first we will see the central tendency and click continue. And if you want, you can do this chart also. Okay, I'm going to give that bar chart. This will be the chart values now. It will be taken to the frequencies. If you want, you can change it in a percentage and click continue. And please check this, display the frequency tables, whether it is ticked or not. Just tick it and click OK. Once again, I will share that output screen. Yeah. So this is the output. Actually, the data point, like number of data point valid is 56, missing is 8. We have 8 missing values. I didn't select that, that mean value, whatever we have changed now, I didn't select that. Whatever that actual data that I have selected, that is 8. And then the mean, 67. The average of the height is 67.2. Whether this is centimeter or meter, I don't know that actually. Yeah, and the median, the mid of the point is 66 and the mode is 65. Mostly 65.99 that centimeter is more, probably it is repeated. That's the mode. And below that, you can see this, that brief explanation about that particular variable. How much that frequency, 57 it comes once, 57.20 it comes once, and for that percent and valid percent and cumulative percent. Okay, so here you can get this. Yeah, so this chart will be looking like this, a little messy, right? So fine. So because we have selected that kind of a variable, that's why it's like this. Fine. So in that descriptive statistics, we have used the central tendency. This is giving a mean, median, mode, and also you can check that chart representation of this data. Okay, so yeah, so here you can see this, the missing system, it will be so totally the 64 data points are there in that missing value, and what are the actual values will be available in that screen. Fine, I'm going to share that the data set. because we need to see this in a dispersion. Analysis, again, you just go to that analysis and descriptive statistics and select the frequencies and select this height and go to the statistics. And now you just untick these things and select only the mean and go to that standard deviation, variance, and if you want minimum and maximum, okay. So these are the things you can select it for the dispersion. This is the second one under this descriptive statistics. I have told it right. One is measuring the central tendency and another one is measuring the spread, also called as dispersion. Okay, click on continue and click OK. So now you will get this output. I will share this output screen. Let's wait. You can see this in this output screen under this frequency heading, that output tables will be visible. Statistics, valid. What is that valid point? And missing is 8. Mean as usual. Standard deviation is 5. The variance in between the one data to another data. Okay. So that is 25. The standard deviation is square root of a variance. And minimum and maximum. So what is the minimum height? 57. And maximum is 80. I don't know. 80 is the maximum height. And yeah, so this is a as usual same the chart and brief explanation about this height. What is the frequency and what is the respective percentage and valid percentage and cumulative percentage. Okay. Just a second, I'm sharing that screen. Yeah. So now we have seen this in this descriptive statistics frequencies, like you need to select what are the data you need. Here you can select whether it is in a demographic variable or your scaled variable, you can select and you can do the descriptive statistics. Okay, so that is not an issue. In that same descriptive statistics, you can get that summary of the data, like it will describe your data, what are the mean, median, variance, range, everything you will get, and also related that you can get that like chart presentation, the graphical presentation also you will get. For an example, pie chart, bar chart, histogram. Okay, so these are the charts are available in this. Okay, so now we have completed this descriptive statistics. Once again, I will share this. Again, I will share the PPT. So till the time, like till this, like we have done that, like how you have to enter the data, what are the things you need to focus while entering in the data, and how you need to clean this data, like the missing values, and then how you need to compute, and then descriptive statistics also. Now I'm just moving to the next slide. So that is an important thing. So these are the things that comes under this inferential statistics. Okay. So here I have given one slide that is how to test a hypothesis. Before entering into that, so what is hypothesis and how you have to, like how you need to test a hypothesis. First we will know this. After that we will enter into the respective slides. Okay. So first I will explain this. What is hypothesis? Before it, like whatever the like. Yeah, sorry for this. Like before, when we are starting to that hypothesis, I'm just going to like tell about the 4 questions. I hope these questions will come into your mind also. So I have taken that 4 questions. So first, the people will think what is hypothesis, and next question they will think why we have to do, like why we have to use this in this analysis, and they will think that like where we have to use and how we have to test this hypothesis. So these are the questions commonly will arise in your all of your mind when you are telling this hypothesis. What they will think. So first I will explain this. What is hypothesis? So the hypothesis is nothing, just an assumption. For an example, today it's going to be rain or not. You will tell like, yeah, maybe it will be rain or may not be, like that you will be, like the answer will be like this. So that is an assumption, right? So that assumption you are going to check using some analysis. Okay. So This hypothesis testing evaluate the two or more mutual exclusive statements. It will be, okay, evaluate on population using the sample data. Fine. So this hypothesis all about this population parameters, not the sample values or statistics. Okay, so this is the hypothesis meaning. So this is how this hypothesis also will work. Like it will take into that two or more mutual exclusive statements, and it will compare, and whether if it is an acceptable or rejectable, it will return you an answer. Okay, the next question is why we have to use this hypothesis. So that hypothesis now, whether if you want to find out this, whether there is an effect or no effect. Okay, so if the variables have an effect on this particular variable or not. If you want to check this kind of a situation or assumption, so that time you can prove with the help of this hypothesis. So that's why we have to use this hypothesis. This is the time, that's the situation, we have to use this hypothesis. And where we have to use. So actually this hypothesis is a key procedure for an inferential statistics. Whenever you are moving into the inferential statistics, that time you need to do with this hypothesis. Ma'am, why ma'am in descriptive statistics we didn't use? Why we have to get those things? Actually in the descriptive statistics we are using what, like we are seeing only the mean, median, mode. You are not comparing anything, right? So in that inferential statistics, you are taking a two variable and you are comparing and you are finding the relationship between the two variables. That time, those hypothesis is very, very important. Okay. So if you are having that hypothesis for the two variables, if you are comparing these two, for an example, if you want to find out this, whether the gender has an impact on this chocolate having like that habit. Okay. So if there is an effect or not, like impact or not. Okay, like this. So if you want to check that time, you can use this. For that kind of for that kind of a situation, you need to do an inferential statistics. That time, before doing an inferential statistics, this is a very, very important. The hypothesis you have to fix, and then you need to check. After that, you need to prove that whether which hypothesis you are going to accept, whether null or alternative. I will explain in this upcoming slides what's null and alternative hypothesis also, and how we have to test the hypothesis. Here I have given that, like the diagram. So first you need to state your null hypothesis. Okay, so the null hypothesis, also called as an HO. Okay, so you need to state your null hypothesis, and second, state an alternative hypothesis. After that, you have to state that alternative hypothesis, that's also called as an HA or H1. Okay, then determine a significant level. After this, okay, we have get an assumption. After this, what is the determination level, the significant level? Okay, so what is the acceptance and rejection level that you need to do? And after that, calculate the p-value. So while doing the calculating the p-value, okay, so that will be that p-value you will be get from some kind of an analysis, that probability value. Okay, and finally you need to draw a conclusion. You need to check that p-value, okay, whether it is less than, that significant value is less than 0.05, your significant level or not. Like that, you need to compare with that values, and after that you need to draw a conclusion. As earlier I said that thing in that inferential statistics, you can do a conclusion, you can draw a conclusion, and also you can take some decision. Okay, so this is how you need to test a hypothesis. This is a very simple like example. Okay, fine. So I'm just moving to the next slide. Yeah, so this is like explaining this, the key terms of a hypothesis testing. We have seen this, what is like how you need to like test the hypothesis, what are the steps, and this is telling this key terms like when you are doing a hypothesis testing, what are the things you need to take into your mind, that key terms you need to follow. So first thing is null hypothesis, that is HO. Before going into that analysis, we need to fix this, right? So this analysis always will be like HO, there is no relationship between, otherwise there is no like association between variable 1 and variable 2. Like that it will be that. So why it will be like this? Actually, the research is unbiased, and we can't prove that within one analysis. We are going to run one analysis for the particular assumption. So within that one analysis, we can't say this, yeah, this is proved, this is correct, because our respondents is always that respondents now are the points. Like if you are collecting the data in this month, COVID-19, how you are feeling in your home, or staying in a home, like the people will tell, like, yeah, I'm not feeling good, like I have to go out, like this they will tell. After 3 months, after everything is getting normal, and after 3 months, you are going to ask the same person the same question, how you are feeling staying inside the home. They will feel, I have to stay in a home. So that response will be also similar. So that infatuation, like, okay, so these are the reasons are they are fixing the null hypothesis. Always there is no relationship between the two variables. And next thing is alternative variables. So the alternative variables, like, it's just opposite. You can say this is the root of null hypothesis. Okay, so this alternative hypothesis, it will be like there is a relationship, otherwise there is the association between variable 1 and variable 2, like that it will be in this alternative hypothesis. And next thing we are going to see this level of significance. So the level of significance is 0.05. So it's normally like universally labeled as a 0.05, and this is also known as an alpha. Okay, so now you have like fixed those HO and HA, and then level of significance. And next we are like, whenever you are testing the hypothesis, obviously you will face this type 1 and type 2 errors, and the one tail test and two tail test also you need to focus into this. So let's move on to the next slide. Yeah. So this slide is explaining that type 1 and type 2 error. So here you can see some confusion matrix table. Okay, so in that, let's take the pen. Yeah. So in that I have explained